Hey guys, it feels good to be actually looking into the camera. I've always been like, where am I even looking, filming with, the back camera. But now we are back to, filming with selfie cam, and yeah, I can see myself and look you guys in the eyes. Anyways, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're seeing my face for the very first time, my name is Vera and I'm a Nigerian living right here in Australia. On this channel I share content majorly on motherhood, migrating to Australia, and just general lifestyle here in Australia. So feel free to subscribe and join our family. I would love that. That would mean a lot. So yeah, without further ado, let's head right into what we have for today. So today's video is going to be all about converting your license, your overseas license, into Australian license. Like I promised you guys, I'll be sharing everything that has to do with converting your license as someone who did it recently here in New South Wales, Australia. So I just want to put a disclaimer. This is, the processes I myself went through. And of course, this is New South Wales, Australia, so it might be a little bit different, in different states, I guess, but generally this is what is obtainable. And yeah, without further wasting of time, let's head right into it. Okay, so if you are planning to convert your overseas license to the Australian license, there are things you need to know. You have to have gotten your license for at least a minimum of 3 years before you can convert it into the Australian license. So if your license is not up to 3 years, it's basically regarded as, you don't have a license, because they don't trust that you are actually capable or experienced enough to drive in Australia. So if you've checked and your license is over 3 years old, then you are eligible to convert it into the Australian license. Okay, so converting your overseas license into the Australian license, has two main stages. Okay, so the first stage is the driver's knowledge test, which is basically the theory of driving. They ask you questions, you have to take the exam. They ask you questions regarding road rules, road safety, who comes first in roundabout, obeying traffic lights, all of that. Basically theory of driving. Okay, so when you pass that one, then you'll be eligible to go into the road driving test, which is the second stage. So let's start from the driver's knowledge test, because you can't go into the practical test without passing that one. Okay, so to get your driver's knowledge test sorted, you have to sit for the exam, obviously. So you have to register online, or you can walk into your local government. Here they call it Service New South Wales, because New South Wales is our state. So in other states it might be Service Queensland, I'm not sure what it's called. So I would advise that you go in there, just so they put you through everything. You can register for it online if you have enough information, but if you don't, I would advise that you walk into your service center, meet one of the staffs there, tell them what you are there for. They will put you through, they will ask for your license, your overseas license. They will also ask for any form of ID. It can be your passport, it can be photo card. Generally I think any ID that has your date of birth and your picture in it. So yeah, so before you can take the driver's knowledge test, you have to pay for the test, and here in New South Wales you have to pay $49. So the knowledge test, or the driver knowledge test, is computer based. You don't need to do any practical driving, it's just computer based. They will ask you questions about road rules, road safety. You can actually take it, you can retake it the next day, you can even retake it the same day. So hopefully when you take the exam and you pass it, then you move over to the second stage. Okay, so the second stage, like I said, is the road driving test, the actual practical driving test. Okay, so for that one, again, you need to go in with your ID. You can book it online. Okay, you can book it online, or you walk into the service center. You pick a date, you choose whichever one. You first of all check their availability, see what they have, and see what suits you, the time, the date, everything. The day of the test, you basically show up with your ID, show up with your overseas license, and yeah, I think that's basically all you need to go with. But basically when you book the test, they'll be able to tell you, what you need to come with. But just carry your ID, any ID that you have. So for the road driving test, you pay $60 for the test, and basically it lasts for 30 minutes to 1 hour, and they're basically testing your skill, your driving skill, how you handle the car, your maneuvers, how you park and all of that. So I'm going to be explaining all of this in another video, how to pass the actual driving test, the practical one. That will be on another video. I just want to put you through what you need to do to get to that stage. Okay, so when you've passed your road driving test, the actual practical test, what you then need to do is to pay another money. Remember, you have to pay $60 to take the test. Then when you pass it, you have to pay. In my own case, I paid $130. Okay, I paid $130 to get my new license. So, and that lasts for, that is for 5 years. So I think you can do one for 10 years, but yeah, $130 for 5 years. And then after 5 years, you obviously renew it. When you eventually pass, which I'm wishing everybody watching this video that you pass first go. When you eventually pass, they're going to conduct a little eye test just to make sure that you can see, because you are driving on the road, right? Yeah, so it's not something crazy. They just basically show you like letters on the board, and then they ask you to read what the letters are, or alphabet. So yeah, some of them are little, like tiny, and some of them are a bit in the middle, and then they have large ones. So if you've taken eye test before, you know exactly what I'm trying to explain. But yeah, they basically test your eyes to make sure that you can see before they hand you the actual driver's license. And with that one, it doesn't have any restriction, nothing. You just go ahead and enjoy driving. Okay, so this is what I'm wishing everyone. But if unfortunately you fail it, it's going to be a lot harder. The process is going to be a lot longer, obviously. So this is what happens when you fail it. Okay, pay attention. So what happens is, when you fail it, you can no longer drive with your overseas license. It's almost like they seize your license. They don't seize it like physically seize it, but you won't be able to drive with it. By law, you're not allowed to drive with it, because they're going to issue you a notice, whatever you call it, stating that you can no longer drive. You are no longer exempted from driving with the Australian license. That now you need to get your Australian license before you can drive ever again in Australia. So this is why you have to make sure that you prepare very well before you actually take the actual test. Make sure that you practice. Don't say because you've been driving for years, you know all about driving, blah blah blah. It's one thing to know how to drive, and it's another thing to actually pass the New South Wales or the Australian driving test. Okay, they are not testing just your skills in driving, speeding, all of that jazz. They're actually testing if you can obey the rules. There are a lot of things that they check. So I'm going to be telling you guys all of that in another video. Okay, but yeah, please make sure that you pass it first go, so you don't go into any stress, because that stressed my life. If you watched my last video when I talked about it, it actually stressed me a lot. Another thing that happens when you fail it is, apart from the fact that they collect your license, or they tell you not to drive with your license anymore, they'll issue you a learner's license, which you have to pay for. That one is for $26. $26 for the learner's license. Let me show you guys. This is mine, the green one. So this is how it looks, the green one. So they issue you that green one when you fail the test. Okay, so another thing that happens when you fail the test is that even though they issue you this green one, this learner's license, you cannot drive alone. You cannot drive on your own. You have to always have someone in the car, someone who has the main license, which is the yellow one, this one right here, the yellow one here. You need to be driving. Anytime you're driving, anytime you're on the road driving, you must have someone in the car who has this yellow license, okay, who has the full unrestricted driver's license. Okay, and again, when you fail it also, you have to attach the learner sign, that yellow board, yeah, that yellow letter, you have to attach it in your car every single time that you drive. So that's why I say it gets stressful when you fail it. Okay, if you pass it, all you need to do is to, go sit down, take pictures, because they will collect your picture for your new license. But if you don't feel like taking pictures, they can use the picture which you use, the same picture you use for your photo card. They can use that one. But yeah, that's what you do when you pass it. You just take the eye test. When you pass your eye test, then you pay the fees and you go home. Okay, but when you fail it, is a lot more stressful. A lot of things you need to do. Like I said on my last video, I was actually planning to go back to work after having a baby, all of that. But then I went for the test. I didn't prepare for it too much because I felt like I already know how to drive. Okay, but then yeah, like I said, it's a whole different ball game. Okay, so when they took my license, or when they restricted me from driving, I couldn't go back to work because obviously they said I have to have someone in my car before I can drive. So yeah, if I'm going to work, I won't be able to have my husband in the car with me going to work with me, or anybody. I can't hire anybody to be going to work with me. So yeah, it was as if they just tied my hand like this. You don't do nothing, you don't go anywhere. It's like, yeah, I don't wish that on anybody. And another thing you need to note is that when you fail it, you can't book another one until after 1 week. Remember I told you guys that it's quite difficult to get availability, but when you fail it, you have to wait an extra week before you are qualified to write another one. Unlike the knowledge one, the knowledge test, you can write it the same day, you can write another one the same day, you can book the next day. But for this practical one, when you fail it, you have to wait a whole week before you can be able to book another one. And most of the time you don't even find the availability. You look for next week, next 2 weeks, you won't see. At some point I couldn't find any availability for a whole month. It was almost like 2 months before I could find another availability. So then again, I say make sure you practice very, very well. Make sure you are 100% sure you will pass before going out there to go take the test. Okay, so before I conclude, I would love to say that this whole process is not for everyone, with overseas license. Some countries are exempted from going through all these stages: first stage, second stage, all of these. If you come from countries like UK, Canada, USA, Sweden, Spain, which other one? Austria. There's a whole lot of them. If you come from these first world countries, I would say you don't have to, go through all these processes. All you need to do is go to your service center, present your overseas license, and then pay the fees and walk out of the center with your license. Like that easy. Okay, but if you come from certain countries like mine, like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, India, if you come from such countries, then you must follow these processes. So the thing is, they value certain countries and their licenses. They trust them, they trust how you got the license and everything. And some other countries, they don't trust. Sadly, unfortunately, they don't trust certain countries and how they get their licenses. And yeah, a whole lot of things. I don't want to go into that, but yeah, if you don't come from UK, US, all of these first world countries, sorry, you have to go through all these processes. It is what it is, guys. So yeah, so that's basically all there is to converting your license. Please ask me any question. I feel like I know a lot about this thing because I just recently did it. So ask away, guys. If you have any questions, don't shy away from it. Ask me in the comment section and I will definitely answer to the best of my knowledge. Okay, so yeah, if you find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a massive thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you're seeing my face for the very first time, go ahead and subscribe. You love it here. And thank you so much for the support. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.